Welcome back. Today's explainer is diving into an absolute war zone, but it's a totally invisible one. We're talking about a silent battle raging right now, literally right behind the drywall and beneath the floorboards of coastal homes, particularly in places like St. Augustine, Florida.
Seriously, think about this for a second. When you go to bed at night in a gorgeous coastal town, what kind of invisible forces do you think are secretly tearing apart your home's infrastructure while you sleep? We kind of tend to think of our homes as these static, permanent fortresses, right? But the reality is, the environment outside is constantly pressing in.
Let's break this down. On the surface, you've got that beautiful coastal life. We're talking historic downtown districts, gorgeous properties right on the Matanzas River, stunning beaches. It's completely idyllic. But beneath all that, well, there's the plumbing reality. You're dealing with saltwater intrusion, shifting sandy soil, really high water tables, and some seriously aggressive mineral buildup. It's a harsh, relentless reality that local geography just inflicts on underground pipes day in and day out.
Section 1. The Battlefield, St. Augustine's Unique Geography.
To really wrap our heads around this, we have to look at what coastal infrastructure is actually up against. The very air residents breathe in these beachside communities is literally a corrosive agent. Salt air eats through metal plumbing fixtures so much faster than anything you'd ever experience inland. And when you add in the high water tables near rivers like the Matanzas and Tolamato, you've got an environment that is just constantly stressing out older underground sewer systems.
And then, of course, we have to talk about the water itself. Hard water is extremely mineral heavy, and honestly, in a humid subtropical climate, it's kind of a tragic irony. The very water you need to survive is actually your home's worst enemy. This heavy mineral content accelerates scale buildup, radically reduces the efficiency of your systems, and, no joke, actively destroys your appliances from the inside out.
Moving on to Section 2, the casualties, 4 common coastal failures. So the damage in these coastal environments actually happens incredibly predictably. We can basically slice the casualties down into 4 main areas. You've got water heater failures, sewer line backups, pinhole leaks, and low water pressure. These are by far the most frequent victims of the coastal environment that are going to require immediate professional attention.
Let's look at the rather gruesome end for some of these systems. Because of that hard water sediment we just talked about, water heaters around here often die in just 8 to 12 years. The sediment just piles up at the bottom of the tank, creating literal hot spots that will crack the tank lining right open. Meanwhile, underground, moisture-seeking tree roots from massive, mature live oaks are infiltrating older clay sewer pipes and older cast iron lines. They actually deteriorate from the inside, creating these rough surfaces that catch debris until the whole system just cracks or completely backs up. It's a mess.
But honestly, perhaps the most insidious threat is this one. Copper pipes actually develop pinhole leaks because the water chemistry reacts with the metal, literally eating through the pipe walls from the inside out. This covert attack is super common in homes built between 1980 and 2000. These tiny little holes end up spraying water inside walls and ceilings, causing all this hidden mold and damage for weeks, sometimes longer, before a homeowner ever even notices a stain.
Section 3. Rules of engagement, fighting back with code.
Now, the absolutely crucial point here is that these building codes aren't just arbitrary red tape. They are essential defensive measures. We are talking about strict requirements, hurricane-resistant installations with seismic restraints, mandatory backflow preventers to stop storm surge sewage from, flooding right into your living room, specific venting standards, and really specific rules dictating exact copper pipe thickness depending on the unique water chemistry of the area.
The code also has to navigate this tricky Goldilocks dilemma of water heating. See, setting your water heater to 120 degrees feels comfortable, but it's dangerous because it actually allows Legionella bacteria to thrive. But on the flip side, if you crank that dial up to 140 degrees, sure, you kill the bacteria, but you create a severe burn risk, especially for children and the elderly. So, what's the solution? The mandated compromise is exactly 135 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the sweet spot that balances sanitation, keeping you completely safe from pathogens like Legionella, while also protecting you from scalding. But remember, that hard water buildup we were talking about earlier, it can totally disrupt this and cause temperature inconsistencies, which is exactly why regular maintenance is absolutely vital to keeping this delicate balance intact.
Section 4. The counterattack, professional intervention.
When things go wrong, professionals rely on a strictly defined 3-phase response process. Step 1 is schedule and dispatch, basically getting emergency help out to you in about 60 to 90 minutes. Step 2 is diagnosis and approval, and honestly, this is where it gets highly technical. Plumbers nowadays use video camera inspections to examine sewer lines so they don't have to dig up your whole yard. They even use thermal imaging to locate hidden leaks behind walls without having to swing a sledgehammer. And finally, step 3 is repair and verification. This ensures every single fix meets those super strict, code-compliant standards we just went over.
Section 5. The economics of coastal plumbing.
All right, brace yourselves because this number is the eye-popping reality of the financial stakes involved here. $20,000. That is the high-end cost just for the rough-in and finish plumbing on a new 2,000-square-foot Florida home. When you factor in the coastal climate, the absolute need for proper pier placement in shifting sandy soil, and the premium cost of corrosion-resistant materials, the underlying infrastructure of your home is a massive, massive financial investment.
But hey, to provide a little immediate relief and context, here is the standardized pricing for your typical, everyday plumbing emergencies. A simple leaky faucet might run you about $125 to $250. Drain clearing is usually sitting between $150 and $400. Standard pipe repairs can scale up to $1,000, while replacing that sediment-choked water heater is going to run anywhere from $1,200 to $3,500.
Now, seeing those numbers might tempt you to just grab a wrench and do it yourself, right? But here is why that is incredibly dangerous. Unlicensed DIY repairs on complex systems can literally instantly void your homeowner's insurance. It can lead to catastrophic water damage, create actual explosive hazards if you're messing with gas lines, and in places like St. Augustine, it can severely violate complex historic district regulations that carry some seriously heavy financial penalties.
Which really brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with today. As you sit in your home right now, how old are the pipes beneath your feet? Are they from the 1990s, the 80s? Are they historical cast iron? Remember, there is an entire invisible underworld actively aging and reacting to the environment beneath your floors at this very moment. Understanding this unseen battle is the absolute first step in protecting your home. Thanks for joining me on today's Explainer, and stay curious.